and welcome. I kind of wanted to discuss my process making these little paper dolls or paper puppets, whatever you want to call them, in a kind of short video. So you can see this is kind of diagram I used initially, one of my first ones. Make sure you use this really thick paper I'm showing. It doesn't matter to be that type, just make it thick. So this is a kind of how I do the torso, head, arms, legs. You sketch it out, and then you cut it. So pretty cut and dry, right? You get it? So this is kind of what it'll look like. These are pieces, so mainly the head, the torso, the two arms, and the two legs. And that's mainly what you're going to need. So just sketch those out in the scale you want, cut them out, and then paint them. So here, I was going in with my darker reds and just kind of getting a basis for how it would look. I'm going to take this as a moment to explain kind of how the puppets might work and just general thoughts. So mainly the main thing here is that they work using all paper and little joints kind of made with hole punch, which I'll show in a second. But the main thing, they're actually pretty simple to make and really fun. I actually really wanted to add that if anybody's interested at some point, I would love to open like commissions and stuff for these. I don't know if there's something anybody would be interested in. I know I'm very small here, but it is something I've been looking into because I really enjoy making them. Now you can see where the X's are is where we're going to either hole punch or glue to. So watch and see kind of there. I like to make these paper rolls here. You can see I cut out strips and then I roll them up with the glue. Make these little paper rolls. Okay. So here's where I show kind of where to hole punch, and you'll see, so you're going to need one in the neck area on the torso, roughly in the middle up there. That's for where the head will be threaded through. Alright, so that's kind of what you want it to look like. The next is going to be the X's on the arms and the legs. But first, you can see the X on the back of the head. I'm going to glue a post to one of my rolls that I made with paper. And that's where you're going to put the torso on top of it. So it's going to create kind of a joint. And you'll see that in a moment. But first, just make sure your post looks something like that. It can be shorter too. So hole punch the arms and also the legs. So you can see this is kind of what it should be looking like. All the hole punched parts at least. Alright. So this is where I've glued my posts. All the other X's there. So you can kind of see and get a glimpse of how I do it. So these are supposed to just be kind of end caps. I'll show you another way of ending off, but for now, that's what I did for this piece. So you can see this is kind of where I'm showing assembly. You can see they're used as like stop marks kind of to make it so that it doesn't fall off. Here's a good example of kind of the torso, how it'll end up looking. But you just do that for all of them. And in a moment, I will show you an alternate and probably much better method of doing this. The caps, that is. Because I developed this way of starting a little bit differently than how I do it now. But you can see this is kind of what the post might look like. And those two extra ones to the side are just to keep the arms in place. Alright, so here's an example of something more recent. There, you can see how I kind of ended it off more cleanly. It definitely looks better. And I also use this longer piece in the back to attach to the head. It's just easier to hang onto a shelf or something as well, because you can just tape that back piece and it'll hang nicely. Anyway, that's one of my friends' OC actually. So this is kind of what it's going to look like when it's done. And in a moment I'll show you another video of him moving. And yeah, that's all. And I hope you liked it. Sorry, it might have been fast, but thank you.